He sends me stuff on TikTok every night of these weird, like, if you get a pickle and you scrape it out and you put cream cheese in it and everything, bagel seasoning and lime. We tried one last night where we got cottage cheese. He put it in a strainer and you put it under the sink, and then you put it in a bowl, put it in the freezer, and then after a few hours it's like Dippin' Dots, so you just put some honey on.
For decades, the Beckhams presented an image of seamless perfection. Family, smiles, public appearances, all meticulously composed, untouchable. Yet beneath that carefully maintained exterior, fissures were quietly forming. The world now glimpses a disquiet that had long been contained behind cameras and curated posts. At the center of this unfolding tension stands Brooklyn Beckham, his wife Nicola Peltz, and the figure whose judgment may weigh heaviest upon their union, Nicola's father, Nelson Peltz. Observers suggest that acceptance, if it ever existed, was tenuous at best. Private messages, now circulating, imply intentions that stretch beyond simple disapproval, hinting at efforts to exert influence over Brooklyn's place in the family. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The wedding, once imagined as a celebration, became a moment where these pressures could no longer be contained. Brooklyn found himself navigating the quiet but formidable pull of loyalty, love, and authority, caught between the legacy of his parents and the gravity of the world his wife inhabits. For years, the public saw only the polished surface: vacations, red carpet appearances, and smiles that conveyed unity. Behind them, however, small tensions had accumulated: subtle remarks, private criticisms, and restrained frustrations that suggested a deeper unease. Brooklyn, long framed as the obedient son, was increasingly aware of boundaries he could not easily cross. Nicola, raised in a sphere of substantial influence, occupied a world that, in certain ways, threatened to redefine his own. Those close to the families indicate that these frictions had been present long before the wedding. Minor disagreements, whispered concerns, and quiet observations had layered into a persistent strain. The event itself, set in a New York venue of grandeur and careful design, became the stage upon which these unspoken conflicts surfaced. Crystal chandeliers and flowing champagne could not mask the fragility beneath the smiles. A first dance, intended to mark intimacy and connection, instead revealed the fractures in real time. A moment that should have been private unfolded under the gaze of hundreds, leaving Brooklyn exposed as the bride stepped away in tears. What was left was not spectacle, but the weight of unspoken tension, a silent acknowledgement that the contours of family, loyalty, and expectation had shifted irreversibly. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The air in that room, by all accounts, was heavy with unspoken tension, a quiet pressure that seemed to linger in every glance and gesture. Observers note that private messages, attributed to Nelson Peltz, suggested a profound disquiet with Brooklyn's place in his daughter's life. Words circulated in fragments, hinting at concern, authority, and an insistence on oversight. Whether these messages were acts of protective instinct or deliberate assertion of influence, they underscored the weight of expectation and the subtle, exacting reach of power. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. In response, Brooklyn is said to have taken steps that few could have anticipated. Reports indicate he limited contact with his own parents, directing communication through legal channels, a decision described by those close as deliberate, measured, and without precedent. It was not a gesture of anger, but a signal of boundaries being drawn in a landscape where loyalties and responsibilities had grown increasingly complex. The following day, a statement from Brooklyn, issued publicly, positioned his priorities with clarity, commitment to his marriage, and to the life he is choosing to lead. Those who knew him in private described a young man long shaped by scrutiny, by the persistent expectations of family and public life, and by the constant gaze of those around him. For the first time, it seemed, he was stepping into his own space, claiming authority over decisions that had previously been mediated by others. Yet this newfound autonomy came with its own constraints. By moving fully into the orbit of his wife's family, he entered a network defined by a different set of rules, a sphere of influence as formidable, if not more so, than the one he had left. Observers suggest that arrangements surrounding the marriage itself may have circumscribed his independence, emphasizing security and alignment over freedom. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Outside the private walls, the world saw only fragments, carefully composed images, cryptic posts, curated appearances. Behind the scenes, the story unfolded quietly in private texts, discreet conversations, and the subtle choreography of family negotiations. The atmosphere, according to those who witnessed it, was one of measured anxiety, a careful navigation of fragile relationships. By the end of that night, a decision had been made. Brooklyn had chosen to stand with Nicola, a choice that, in affirming his path, widened the distance between himself and his own parents, a separation that, for many, carries the weight of years, perhaps a lifetime, to reconcile. The day after the wedding, the events that had unfolded quietly behind closed doors began to surface in the public sphere, and the reaction was swift and unrelenting. Across social media, fragments of private conversations and alleged messages circulated, drawing intense scrutiny and speculation. Observers noted that the focus was no longer merely on ceremony or celebration, but on the fragile and shifting dynamics within a family under extraordinary pressure. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Texts attributed to Nicola Peltz, whether authentic or altered, suggested a concern for control, for oversight, and for the preservation of a particular order within the family. The implications, real or perceived, prompted debate among fans, commentators, and those who had followed the Beckham legacy for years. Within hours, discussions and interpretations spread widely, as the narrative of conflict between Brooklyn and his parents was amplified by public curiosity and the mechanics of online discourse. Commentators from different corners of the public sphere, from entertainment figures to industry analysts, reflected on the complexity of influence, loyalty, and expectation. Some framed Brooklyn's actions as an assertion of independence long deferred. Others viewed them as an entry into another sphere of obligation and constraint, where wealth and influence carried their own pressures. In parallel, speculation extended to the family brand itself. The image of perfection, carefully cultivated over decades, was being revisited through the lens of these events. Past campaigns, public appearances, and curated narratives were suddenly read for nuance, for signs of tension previously unnoticed. The question of agency, how much of Brooklyn's life had been shaped by legacy, expectation, or external influence, emerged quietly but persistently. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Behind the scenes, those close to the family reportedly began to act with caution and deliberation. Meetings with advisors, legal counsel, and consultants were convened, not to reconcile, but to prepare for statements that might define the boundaries of influence and autonomy moving forward. Observers within the industry speculated on the magnitude of what could follow, noting that any disclosure or strategic declaration had the potential to reshape not only family relationships, but the broader perception of a public brand carefully built over a lifetime. In this convergence of private decisions and public interpretation, the lines between personal choice, obligation, and legacy became increasingly blurred. What unfolded was not merely a dispute within a family, but a quiet, ongoing negotiation of identity, influence, and the costs of life lived in full view. The uncertainty that followed the wedding lingered like a shadow, quiet but unrelenting. No one could say with certainty what Brooklyn's next steps would bring, whether a measure of independence or the opening of a deeper rift. In the hours and days that followed, fragments of private documents and messages surfaced, hinting at strategies and influences that had long gone unseen. Observers suggest that some decisions, once thought to be acts of freedom, may have been shaped by forces extending beyond immediate awareness, by the presence of expectations and oversight that are rarely visible to the public eye. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Alleged instructions attributed to Nicola Peltz, if taken at face value, convey a meticulous attention to control, a constant vigilance over how actions were perceived and managed. For Brooklyn, the choices he had thought were wholly his own may have existed within constraints he did not fully recognize. The implications are not of spectacle but of subtle, enduring pressure, the kind that shapes the rhythms of daily life and quiet decisions alike. Outside the family, the narrative unfolded through the prism of public perception. Each statement, each post, each fragment of private correspondence circulated rapidly, provoking speculation and analysis. Observers and commentators reflected on the interplay of autonomy, influence, and obligation, noting the ways in which wealth, legacy, and expectation can shape even the most intimate of decisions. Some interpreted Brooklyn's actions as a first assertion of self, others as a step into another network of subtle constraints. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. As the public watched, the weight of anticipation grew. Questions of loyalty, agency, and consequence hovered, unresolved. The Beckhams remained measured, their responses deliberate and restrained, while Nicola's presence was steady, her support clear, yet intertwined with the influence of her own family. What is visible in this story is only part of the truth. The remainder lies in pauses, in choices unspoken, in the tension between connection and control. The path forward is uncertain. Every decision carries potential ramifications for relationships, reputation, and legacy. What remains evident is that the story is far from concluded. Each action, each silence, each carefully weighed word adds to the unfolding narrative, a quiet drama of influence, autonomy, and consequence that continues to resonate in ways both public and profoundly private. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos.